This week, we got a new quarterback season. If you become a season champion, you will get rewarded a lot of coins. This week, we are battling against the Pinus Nation to see who can get the most trophies in their club. Honestly, you guys have been killing it, so I don't think they have anything on us. Also, don't forget that you can get free coins if you refer a friend. If you're new to Quarterback GG, it is a platform that will allow you to earn coins and trophies just by completing challenges in-game. You can use these coins to redeem free stuff in the shop, and having more trophies will put you at the top of the leaderboards. We're going to be hosting a lot of these events, so make sure to join my club and start grinding. What up, guys? Today we're going to be talking about runes, and I get asked a lot of questions about runes. So we're going to be going over all the different runes that are viable on Katarina. But first off, I want to start by saying that there is no best rune on Katarina. Because I get a lot of questions asking me, what is the best rune on Kat? And honestly, right now, there just isn't any. All the runes that you can take on Kat are pretty viable on her, and it really depends on how you play out the game, how you play out the laning, and how you use the rune. First, I want to talk about Electrocute. Electrocute is probably my favorite rune to use on Kat. I like it because it gives you that early strength that you need in the laning phase. It's very easy to proc. You can proc it with 2 spells and an auto attack. You can proc it just by having a Q on the ground. If they walk close to it, you can Shimpo and auto and it'll proc it easily. It's also a very bursty rune, and it's one of those runes compared to the other ones that is very consistent. You can proc it all throughout the game super easily on a 30-second cooldown, and it scales decently well with items with the AP and AD scaling. I think this rune is best for trying to start your snowballing early, since it gives you a lot of early game damage, and it gives you that little bit of burst for you to actually all in people in lane once they're out of position. So I think you should take Electrocute if you're looking for early game damage, decent scaling, very consistent rune, and something that is very reliable all throughout the game. Next, we're going to talk about Dark Harvest. Dark Harvest is a rune that works super well with Katarina's resets, but it's one of those runes that you have to stack up in order for it to become strong. So basically, you're giving up some early game pressure in order for you to scale a little bit better into the mid game. This rune is great for team fighting and skirmishes because you're able to proc it on multiple people as you get resets. So I think Dark Harvest is a good rune if you find yourself in a good matchup and you like to roam around and skirmish a lot. But just know that the rune is a bit inconsistent, and it really depends on how well your early game goes. Next, we're going to talk about Conqueror. Conqueror is a rune that has a decent early game and pretty decent scaling as well. It lets you stay longer in fights with the heal, and it also lets you deal more consistent damage with the true damage. It also requires a pretty specific build in order for you to utilize it fully. So mainly people would go Gunblade into Death's Dance as their items. I would say it's kind of a cheesy rune because the true damage and the healing really catch people off guard. So I would pick up Conqueror if you're a very aggressive player that likes to fight and commit to all-ins and team fights to really utilize the sustain and damage that Conqueror has to offer. Now I'm going to be talking about 2 runes briefly that has seen some light recently. First is Predator. Predator is a very macro heavy type of rune to use. You have to understand the game well in order for you to fully utilize it, since it doesn't give you pressure in lane, but it gives you a lot of roaming potential. So I would use this rune if you're very aware of what's going on in the map and finding opportunities to roam where you can gain advantages. Lastly, I'm going to talk about Fleet Footwork. You mainly get this rune to get sustain in lane, so it's good at out-sustaining your lane opponent and trying to get advantages that way. So I would get this rune if you're focused on getting through the laning phase in a hard matchup that you feel like it's difficult to win. In low diamond and under, I would recommend you going a damage rune instead of like Predator or Flea footwork, because even if the matchup is hard, you'll still be able to take advantage of little gaps in their play. Just having a lot of damage in general will help you carry your games. Remember that Katarina is very flexible. She can be played in many different ways. But just make sure that you hold this mindset of wanting to end the game by mid-game. That is when Katarina is the strongest and you want to be closing out games around then. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like these guides and you want to learn more about Kat, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube. Click on the notification bell if you want to be notified when these videos are out. Play smart, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace out.